in beyond those thoughts. But what we have today is we have BSV, and
right.
BSV is the re-establishment of the original protocol and the original capabilities, and it delivers things in one single package that all the other main ones networks can't deliver collectively. And I have thought at times that part of the anti-Craig movement was around protecting business interests. I've thought at different times it was around professional jealousy. To be honest, I don't know, and I really don't care. The only thing that I have a deep deep interest in right now is how the world, and in particular governments and enterprises, can develop solutions on a blockchain that can deliver them, smart contract technology, scaling, tokens, nano payments, and all those things combined, where transactions can be processed at enterprise speed at fractions of a penny. And when I say fractions, I'm talking fractions at less than 100th of a penny, not a cent, 100th of a cent. And that's what's important to me. And I look at token values from time to time. It's not a preoccupation of mine to jump out of bed of a morning and look at what all the prices are, because I don't care. My business interest, and I'll underline that, my business interest, not my speculative interest. My business interest is utility, and that's what I'm dedicating my activities in the companies that I'm involved with, to ensure that the promise of blockchain technology that was invented by Craig comes to deliver its full capabilities in terms of innovation and disruption to this planet. And if we can achieve that, a lot of things will be better off.
Absolutely.
New companies will be born. New mega corporations will be born. Some companies will be disrupted, and businesses will be disrupted to the extent that they may not exist anymore. I lived through the introduction of some pretty significant technologies, and I worked in businesses that exploited those enormously. The internet and mobile telecommunications technology, and they certainly were very significant and rightfully accoladed technologies. But blockchain, married with the digital token that's on the BSV network to be able to secure and attach payments at a fraction of a cent, I think stand to significantly outperform those technologies in terms of impact to the human race. And the Internet of Things sector, which is enormous, now has the ability to be able to connect to a blockchain, to be able to provide immutable data stores for data mining and monetize that data, and the IoT sensors and so forth, fractions of a penny. I think that's enormous. And you layer on top of that the demonstration that Steve Shatters did on the second morning of the conference, where he stood up on stage and surprised me and almost everybody else. I mean, I don't think anyone apart from the engineers that cabled him up, knew what he was going to do. And he sat there on the fly and did a demonstration of Terranode running on 4 virtual machines and then 8. And he cracked 50,000 transactions per second on stage. But Steve then, as you know, goes out in the coffee area out the front and starts doing private demonstrations of 100,000 transactions a second. Anyone that wants to walk by and look. And I said to him, "Why? Why didn't you do that on stage? Why didn't you do 100?" He said, "Because I didn't have the courage. Because you try to push things too far. Things sometimes." Your connection is weak or whatever. But, that's an area that's really important to TAL, because TAL is going to be running Terranode infrastructure. And I've already started the program of TAL starting to build out its own Terranode instance on the test network and mirror that as a listing infrastructure on mainnet. So, I don't want to get too far into that because it's jumping the gun a bit, but I'm pretty hopeful that we can achieve some interesting stuff over the next 6 months.
Well, that's brilliant. Stefan, I would be afraid to even ask. This has been such a good interview. if there's any closing remarks, anything that maybe people have never heard before, as we wrap up here.
Well, there's a lot of things people haven't heard anymore, including my interactions with Roger Ver. But I'm not gonna go there.
Oh man,
Roger Ver and Jihan Wu. But I think I've said everything there is to say at this point. I'm incredibly bullish about the utility value of Bitcoin SV and the opportunities that brings to business, and the work that N-Chain's doing right now, and some of the technologies and services that they'll be rolling out very, very shortly that will enable businesses to very easily connect and blockchain enable parts of their operations without disruption to be able to do that. And then, dovetailing that into the work that TAL's been doing around processing those transactions at, high speed under SLA contracts, either based in the token or based in fiat, which is, I think, a really important aspect for businesses as they go through these transitions. And I'm really excited about the STAS token technology that we have. It was heartening to see so many businesses talk about STAS tokens and what they're doing with it at CoinGeek. That token technology is a layer 0 token technology. It's not going to be the optimal solution for every token implementation, but it has some advantages. And part of the advantage is, when you have a layer 2 token, which I'm not against, by the way. So I want to preface that by saying, there's lots of business cases for layer 2 tokens. You have a trusted third party that has to run infrastructure to issue tokens and verify tokens. And in that instance, scalability is an important issue, because the performance of that token solution is only going to be as good as the layer 2 infrastructure provided by the trusted third party, whereas STAS is done with script on chain, so it's infinitely scalable as BSV scales. Obviously, with issuance fees, when you've got a trusted third party with that infrastructure, they've got to cover those costs. So it's a lot more difficult for them to be able to provide really low cost token issuance solutions and contracts, and of course the security of the tokens, they're on chain, so they're immutable. The transactions related to tokens are immutable, and it's all done using all of the attributes of the BSV blockchain. So I'm incredibly happy with where we are.
It's incredible. I mean, it's this episode should be called, Alex, write this down, the future of history or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we literally heard from like the prehistory of Bitcoin all the way to Terranode and Stas tokens and all of this stuff taking over the world. Really, it has been an incredible honor to have you on, Stefan. So thank you so much for this hour and 15 minutes of your time. Of course, you are welcome back anytime. Maybe we can have a few drinks and we can dig into some of the other the hidden history here. And
I just thought of a phrase that one of my senior executives used with me after the conference in a meeting we were having. He talked about nano transactions at mega speed. And I thought that just summed up where we are right now in the evolution of this technology.
Yeah, amen to that.
Yeah. All right, man.
Thanks again.
No problems. Catch you later.
All right. Take care.